Hey guys, so I was playing PvE and I started the game with a dummy that had, um, I think it had Divinity Corp, which is kind of good, and then it also had Rapid Fire in it, right? So I started the game with that and I finished the game with a board that looked something like this and it won the game. I know it's like early PvE and games like this don't matter, like if you go first or not, because you can't tell if the enemy or the opponent is playing a good build. But I definitely felt like this comp was good, or at least like worth a try. Like if you're gonna play Seri, which seems to be like one of the main 4-cost carries, although they all seem really fun, but like Seri seems to be like the attack speed sort of like range carry. So if you want to play Seri, I would definitely recommend you stick through this hopefully short guide on how to play this. And at the end, I'm going to show some footage of how some of the fights went. But yeah, so I'm going to assume that you don't have this dummy, but this is how I came to play a board similar to this one. So why I think this comp is good. First of all, Exotech seems to be a really decent synergy, at least again on day one of PvE. It's giving really good stats, and because the stats are universally good, they're HP and attack speed, so they're literally good on any unit. Seri really likes attack speed, all of the frontline units really like the HP, and then Varus can be really good with attack speed, with something that we're gonna see in a bit. So I guess I should explain what each of the units are, like what they do and like why they're on the board. So starting with the lowest cost, Jax is just a trade bot, a good one at that. The synergies are Bastion and Exotech, so that's definitely good. We don't play Jhin, we don't play Naafiri, because I think they're bad units and their synergies, even though Jhin is a triple synergy unit, he's a 2-cost attack caster, so like it feels like it caps low late game. So we skip those two, we go for the higher costs. So we go for Mordekaiser because Exotech, and he's a really strong early game carry, or early game tank, sort of like a carry as well, because he does really decent damage while keeping himself alive. And I also feel like Teki is a really strong like early game synergy if you have Mordekaiser. Just some decent stats, and the effect is good. But yeah, so Mordekaiser is here because we're probably going to use him as like a frontline, and Varus is here because we're going to use him as like a secondary carry. Varus, a really interesting unit. It did a lot of damage in my game as a 2-star 3-cost. He did have 3 items. One of the items was a Techie specific or Exotech specific item, which was really nice. It was Hollow Bow, which is it's really interesting on Varus. I might go into it later into the guide, I guess. But yeah, Varus 2-star did a lot of damage. He's an AP caster. So to finish off with the Exotechs, Sejuani, just a strong 4-cost. It makes a lot of sense because same synergies as Jax, so it's just a no-brainer. She's a really good tank, so yeah, definitely worth itemizing as well, even though this game I think I just itemized mostly Mordekaiser. And then Seri as our main carry, of course. She is a Exotech and a Rapid Fire. Rapid Fires just gain more attack speed, and Seri really seems to be like a Ginsus holder. I mean, I'm almost certain she is. Not gonna play right now. So she holds Ginsus really well. I assume she holds Red Buff really well, but the game I played her with double Deadlay, which is not a build you're gonna have every game, obviously. But she seemed really good. If you remember Aphelios from set 4, she's really similar to Aphelios from set 4. She leaves like shadow images of herself, and those images attack. They scale with AD and attack speed, so I just gave her AD and attack speed. And I'm gonna show you, but it looked really good. I also kind of want to try it with Gunblade, just to see if it helps keep the frontline alive. And another build I would like to see is, I guess, Runes. But I don't think the mirror images apply Runes. Maybe you'll have to run a Last Whispers on her. But this board seems a lot better if you have Even Shroud rather than this, because I think she works really well with stats, so you just want to give her as much or as many stats as possible, whether it be like double attack speed or double AD. Like, it's probably gonna be double attack speed most of the time because you don't get like 4 swords every game. I don't know if Infinity Edge is very good on her, because sure, like, she getting crits is good. I don't know if the mirror images can crit. And if they can, I mean, it's only 50% damage, so like I feel like just more stats is better. But yeah, maybe I'm getting a bit too lost into itemization, but it's probably gonna be something like this, because you're not gonna have 2 Deathblades, but 2 Deathblades definitely felt really good. It could be Last Whispers, but Even Shroud I think is heavily recommended. So how do we finish this board? I guess I should also talk about Varus, because really good unit. Like, he deals a lot of damage. I think Sojin, maybe Jewel Gauntlet, maybe you want like attack speed and I don't know, like Rabadons, because he can already crit with Executioners, so like Jewel Gauntlet is maybe not that good. Also, maybe you want to give him some sort of like scaling, so you could go for like Ginsus and Archangels, I guess. I don't know if scaling is that good on him. I mean, obviously, the later into the fight, the better. The good thing is, like, he's not only damage, but he's also utility, because he can like stun enemies and in a pretty decent area. But he also deals a lot of damage, so he is definitely worth running, and I think it's definitely worth itemizing. Maybe the problem with this comp is you might need too many items, but yeah, maybe this is a comp that you play in a portal where you have like a lot of items. But I think a build like just attack speed, like maybe some games you're not gonna have that many items. Varus just ends up rocking like a Sojin, and like maybe you get a red buff on him, something like that. But like, he's definitely worth itemizing. I'll tell you that much. Just give him AP or give him mana, whatever. But really, like, I say whatever because you're probably not gonna have that many items if you go for tank items as well. But this is a really good unit, I think. Yeah, I think you can go for Varus 3, Mordekaiser 3 maybe. This game I didn't do that. I tried to go Mordekaiser 3, but I just couldn't get it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I didn't need them 3-star to win. It might be because I went level 9 with a lot of gold. Because it's PB. So how do we finish off this board? You could play like Cho'Gath, because it's like a 4-cost bruiser, which seems really good. And then you can go for Boombots with Kog'Maw, right? So this is a way to play it. And then, like, I would play an Executioner, I think. So the Executioner I would go for would either be like Urgot, because it's also Boombots, and maybe you can get like 4 Boombots. But the one I played was Vex. She is Divinicore, and like, I think Divinicores are really good. And maybe it's because I had an emblem the game I played them, but the bonuses seem really, really strong. Like, you get 7% crit to the 7% crit to the entire team, which, I mean, it's something. But like, if you look at Renekton, attack speed, that's really good. So like, you definitely want to play Renekton, in my opinion. That would be like 9 units, right? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So like, you could play a board like this. Yes, it has 3 Bastion, but I don't know, I feel like it fits really well. Maybe if you have a Bastion emblem, you can turn Mordekaiser into a Bastion. Who knows? Maybe if you have Exotech emblem, you don't have to play Jax. Like, sort of like if you're playing Scrap, you just let go of the weakest Exotech. Like, let's say you have Exotech emblem, you just get rid of Jax, and then you play one of the better units. If you have a Rapid Fire emblem, like I did, then you don't have to play Kog'Maw, and you don't have to play Cho'Gath, which means that you can go for Gragas, and that's really good because you get even more Divinicores. and you also don't have to play a useless rapid fire, like if you have an emblem, again, if you have an emblem. But yeah, and then I definitely think things like Garen and things like Zac are worth playing over a 4th Bastion. Like, I really think, because if you look at the Bastion units, they're not that good. Like, sure, you can get Shyvana, which is Teki and Bastion, and like having Teki on Mordekaiser is good if he is your main tank, which maybe he is, maybe he isn't. So like, yeah, you can get this, and it's a 2 synergy unit for 1. You could play Galio, which is like a decent unit, but I just didn't feel like the Bastion units were better than Garen, which is really, really strong, and then Zac, which is like a really like good frontline. So like, you have options. You definitely have options. I would say like your flex options are those units. This comp, I feel like it can cap really, really high. If you have like some sort of emblem to help you along the way. So, and the good thing is you don't need one singular emblem. Like, you can go for many emblems to help you. Like a Bastion emblem helps you, Exotech emblem helps you, having a random rapid fire emblem will help you, having an executioner emblem might even help you, because then, I mean, maybe you can get rid of Vex. So yeah, all in all, I feel like this and obviously you go for tank items. You can itemize whichever tank you feel like is best. I feel like this is the lower cap variation of the comp, like some sort of build like this, and even this doesn't look that bad because Cho'Gath seems like a really strong unit. But I think generally the more Divine Cores you can play, the better. We might have to wait until live to like be sure, but yeah, Divine Cores seem really good. And yeah, I'm gonna show some footage of let me just check that. Yeah, it seems to be recording. So I'm gonna show some footage of this comp that I got while playing in PvE. So like, this is 4-3, so just after my roll down. I think last fight I lost it because of positioning. Like, my randoms is not well positioned, so I lost. But I've been win streaking this entire game, and I just lost the last 2. I got lucky with the emblems, so I don't have to play a rapid fire. That's why I'm not running this Cho'Gath right here. Yeah, it seems to be still recording. So yeah, and I also got this item for Varus, which ended up being really good. I'll talk about it later maybe. But yeah, this is my board right after my roll down. My items on Seri, I feel like they're okay. Again, double attack speed might end up might end up being better, but I don't know. This felt really good. As you can see, like, Seri is putting on some serious numbers. She's doing like some really, really good damage. This is my first game of PvP, by the way, so I'm all over the place. Like, I'm not making items. I'm just like testing how the board feels. I'll maybe speed it up a bit more. If you wonder why I have this golem, it's my second augment. So like, by this point I had a Jewel Gauntlet on my Varus. I didn't have any sort of shred, so like, I didn't have even shroud. I didn't have Last Whispers, and like, my Seri is still doing some really good damage to this tank. This guy already has a Garen, which is like a really strong unit, but I don't know, like, Seri seemed to be doing a lot of damage. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to Varus, but again, I'll speed it up a bit more, and maybe next fight we like look a bit more at like what Varus is doing, because he is really good. So like, if you pay attention to him, he's gonna he doesn't have a attack speed or mana item yet, but like, he stuns this and then deals a really decent amount of damage, and he's casting like pretty like regularly. Like, he's not getting stuck. He goes to the backline, so it's like really good AoE damage. Gets a target stunned. I don't know, it feels really good. And like, watch at what this Seri does here. Like, she is tanking this set for a really long time. I don't know why he teleported back there, and I don't know if the items are okay, but she did tank set for a really long time. His Exotech really does give you a lot of HP, and I also had the AoE Randuins for like my Seri. So like she has some extra stats that maybe she wouldn't have. But like also having 4 Divinicores and Dragas makes like my team a lot tankier. So I don't know. Like I think I was checking there like the HP and like the value from Randuins, but yeah. My Seri seemed really tanky. I'm gonna go to like one of the last fights. So this guy, I think I lost this one. This guy playing Renekton 2, I think Renekton is gonna be one of the best 5 costs, but like yeah, he has a 5 cost 2 star, Sejuani is a 4 cost 2 star. He is also playing Seri. I don't think his items are as good as mine, but he does have a Radiant Ginzas. So I think I ended up losing this fight, but still it was like really close for what my board was. And I'm also like level 979 gold because I'm just all over the place again. Like I'm trying to figure out what to do with my stuff. So I think after I lose this one, I realized, oh shit, maybe I have to roll, and then I get to my final board. So let's go maybe to the last fight to like showcase what Seri can do. So obviously she has to ramp up a little bit, and also let's not disregard what Varus is about to do, but she has to ramp up a little bit. But once she does, she gets to dealing a lot of damage. So yeah, here she is also really good at kiting. Like she gets out of this situation really well. Seems to be really good at focusing. And then also Varus here, like he dealt 1.4k, like almost 1500 at the end. So I don't know, this guy deals a lot of damage. He was like second on damage for most of my fights. Obviously like Seri was first, but Varus was always like, let me see if I can see the damage here. I right click the sack like a dumbass. Yeah, like, okay, well Garen did a lot of damage here, but like Varus was, Garen's a 5 cost 2 star, so yeah, he's supposed to do a lot of damage, but Varus was also doing really well. So yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to showcase this comp, maybe try it, because I felt like it was really good.